Hey friends, welcome to Social Videos. My name is Joan, and in this video I'll be showing you guys some last minute Valentine's Day DIY gifts. I'll be showing you 3 DIYs that are super easy, super quick. I made sure to choose things that I thought were pretty doable for the average person. Didn't take too long, didn't cost much to get the materials. Honestly, you probably have them already. But they're still extremely cute gifts to give to your significant other. Perfect for Valentine's Day. Timestamps are down below for each tutorial. Let me know which one is your favorite or if you guys try any of them. But yeah, happy Valentine's Day to the couples and singles out there. Enjoy the video. Now let's make a mini bouquet of flowers. You're gonna need sticky notes of your flower colors, and for the stems you can also use sticky notes, but since I don't have any green ones, I'm just gonna cut out squares myself. I measured them to be the same size as the sticky notes and then cut out as many squares as I needed accordingly. Now to start making the flowers, we're going to take one sticky note. We're going to make sure the sticky part is at the bottom, and we're going to fold the top edge inwards. And then we're going to go from the sides and roll up the sticky note. You want to make sure you roll up your paper nice and tightly coiled together, as that will make the paper look a lot more flower-like. Now once we have that rolled up, you're going to see that the folded part is going to be the head of our flower, so making sure that that part looks nice. We're then going to section off a part of the top to keep as the flower part and then twist the stem all the way down. Just as a tip, it helped to kind of pinch where I wanted to start twisting from, and then that was basically it for the flowers. I ended up making 5 flowers to make a bouquet, just following the steps that we just went over. Now once you're done making your flowers, we're going to then move on to the stems. We're going to take our scissors and make some cuts so that we sort it into 4 sections. To make it easier, we're just going to cut once down the middle and then the middle of the 2 sections, and that should give you your pieces to fold. So for each tab that we just cut, we're going to be folding the corners inwards into kind of a triangular pointy shape. And don't feel the pressure to make them perfect or anything. Honestly, the messier the better, just makes the flowers look a lot more natural. And then taking our flower, we're gonna line up the head of the flower with the triangle part and roll it up. Then same thing as we did with the flowers, we're just gonna twist the bottom. And with that, we're done 1 flower. And last but not least, we actually have to put our flowers in a bouquet. So I'm just going to use some newspaper. I'm going to arrange my flowers along the pointed end of the newspaper and just wrap it all up. Feel free to adjust how the flowers are arranged. And to make sure everything stays together, I use glue. You can also use tape, and we're just going to put the wrapping all together. And with some final touches, you now have your mini bouquet. And for the tutorial on the fluffy heart keychain, we're going to start off with a strand of yarn, put it flat against our palm, and slide it between our middle and ring finger. Measuring it to our wrist, we're then going to cut it, put it back between our fingers along our palm, and then we're going to take our string, put it between our thumb and palm, and then start coiling it over your fingers. Make sure you're holding onto that end of the string tight, and then we're just going to basically wrap it around for about 60 times. Once we're done that, we're going to cut off the string, pinching it in between my thumb and my palm. I'm then going to take the old original string that's through my fingers, put it back through over the yarn we just coiled, and make a knot with its other end. Once you've made a loose knot, we're then going to slip off the yarn off of our fingers and then pull on the knot to tighten everything together. I'm going to make another knot just to make sure everything is secure. And for the next step, we're going to cut in between the loops of yarn that are made from our tying. And we're just going to keep cutting around in a circle through all the loops. Once you're done with that, you should be left with a pom-pom, which is only 1/2 of the heart, so we're going to need to follow the steps again to make a second pom-pom. Once we have both pieces, we're going to want to attach them together. So I'm just going to take my hot glue gun, put some glue on, and then put the 2 sides together. Once that's dry, we should see we have one big pom-pom. And next up is the fun part where we just get to cut our heart shape out. For this, you just get to go ham and kind of give a bit of a haircut to your pom-pom. Don't be afraid to cut short, but not too short or through the pom-pom, as that's gonna make everything fall apart. So for myself, I'm just starting off with the edges and kind of making my heart shape. I'm just going for a rounded triangle look, and then I'm gonna cut out the top part of the heart. And as I'm trimming, I'm making sure to kind of fluff up and move around the pieces of yarn just to see what the overall shape looks like, and then trimming accordingly if there's any pieces that are sticking out. And then I'm gonna start trimming the whole surface just to get a nice rounded even look. And I'm also gonna make sure to accentuate and round out the top rounded parts of the heart. And then you basically keep trimming and cutting until you're happy with your heart. And for our last step, we're gonna make the loop at the top of the heart, which I'm just gonna use with some string and attach it on with some hot glue. And with that, we have our fluffy heart keychain. And now this is my tutorial for the Spinning Heart Valentine's Day card. You're gonna need some paper, it can be cardstock or construction, some scissors, some tape and glue, and some yarn. I'm gonna be using cardstock paper as my base, and I'm just gonna fold it over like you would a normal card. And so next we want to cut out a shape in the front of the card. I'm gonna use a heart, but you can also use a circle or anything else. Here I'm taking some scrap paper to cut out a heart on, just so I can have a stencil when I trace it onto my actual card. So I'm gonna trace out the size of the heart that I want, cut it out, and then I can now trace using the scrap paper. I would also recommend keeping the scrap paper that you use to cut out your stencil, as it could be used later in the DIY. So now I'm just gonna trace out my shape onto my card and then cut it out. I feel like this is hard for most people, including myself, but to cut a shape out of a piece of paper, I just kind of stab my scissors through to make an incision, and then from there it gets a little bit easier in just cutting along the edges from the inside and just doing it sections at a time. I just take it slow and steady, go along the pencil lines. If it's not perfect, that's okay. I'm just gonna trim it and fix it up. And with that, we have our shape cut out in the front. We're then gonna move on to making these spinny hearts. So I'm gonna measure out my yarn, cutting a piece that can go from the top to the bottom of the shape that you just did, and taking some more paper, I'm gonna fold it in half and then draw out another mini heart shape. If you didn't know, this is how you make your heart cutouts even, is just folding a piece of paper, doing one side, and then you have a perfect little heart. And then we're gonna need to make another one of the same size, so I'm just gonna use the same one to trace it out and cut out another one. So now you have two matching heart pieces, and you wanna make sure they're the same size and that they fit over each other. And then we're gonna glue one side of each piece of heart paper, and then put the string down the middle, and then sandwich it in between the two hearts. So I'm just making sure that my hearts are overlapped with each other and that my string is securely glued on. And so now we're gonna put everything together. So we're just gonna attach the string onto our cutout piece. I'm just gonna use some Scotch tape to tape both ends of the string down. And with that, you've got the basic structure done for the card. And I didn't know this until I made it myself, but the trick to make the heart spin is you actually have to wind and twist it up before opening it. And you have to retwist it to make it spin like it does when you open it. Super cute, but I did want to get rid of the just open-ended strings you can see. So using my stencil, I'm just gonna cut it out to fit the card size and then glue it on so that you can't see the tape and string. I feel like this just gives it a much cleaner look and put together look, so I'm just going to glue that down with some glue, and then any leftover parts of the white that I can still see, I'm just going to cut and trim it off. And with that, I'm fully done making my Valentine's Day card. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!